Mr. Minnick, helping my students with initials worksheet number 1 here in Python. Neatly draw your first and last initials using straight lines so that they fill up the paper. So my initials are CM. And on this grid paper that we use, because the second step of the programming process is to design the interface, assuming that you understood that sentence, that's the first step of the programming process, to understand what your initials are. And I just want 2 initials. If you have 3 initials, or a title like the third, Mr. something the third, I just want 2 initials. Pick 2 letters. And by the way, they can be lowercase, like it says somewhere here. And they can have like individuality and personality. Now they might be old school 1970s block letters, in the old type of letter that you'll soon see anyway. But here goes. So the C for my first name. Pick a spot where you want the endpoint of one of the line segments of C, perhaps right here. So I would put a little dot there at that point of intersection between those 2 black lines. I don't want you just to put random dots that end up being in the middle of one of these squares. Do not do that. That will mess up our assignment. So pick a spot where you want the top part of perhaps your C. Then make it a straight line, but you can make it a diagonal line and show some personality. So perhaps that would be the other endpoint of a line segment for C. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a straight edge or a ruler here, or even an extra piece of paper that I could pull out of a notebook and use as a perfect guide. So don't do what I'm doing here in this video. Don't just sketch it and end up with a wavy line. That should be straight, lightly drawn in pencil, in case when I check your homework the next day, I require you to move one of these lines. You can neatly erase it without having to draw it on a new piece of graph paper. Well, with those 2 endpoints being right on the black line intersections, so far so good. Now your C, the C that has this individuality, I want to use up a lot of the space here. So I'm just going to make the C come the whole way down here, the left edge. I'm going to draw the straight line as best I can here freehand in this video. Then check this out. I want the bottom of the C, I want it to be tilted up. So artistically, I should make it tilt probably the same vertical height as this upward slant of the C. So I'm counting 2 blocks here between this dot and this dot. So right here with my eyeballs, I'm going up 2 blocks. And then I'm coming over here and putting the other edge of the C vertically aligned with the endpoint up here. And I connect the dots with a straight line, and there's my C. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It's got a little slant to it. So don't everybody have boring letters on this assignment, please. I've got 60 students. I want to see some individuality. Okay, well, the M, the letter M. I don't know, you can come down here diagonally and fill up the paper by putting the M down here. Maybe the M is like right below it. Maybe the M is got like its own individuality. So it's got like a diagonal there, and it comes way over here, stops maybe right there at that dot. And now I should make it symmetrical, I really should. So I'm counting the number of blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10, a distance of 10, which by the way is 100 pixels in the unit notation of this paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right there is roughly where it would come out over here. But up here, even with the top half of the M, is probably where I should be drawing that connector. And I would erase that later if I found my erasing tool in the software. There, I found it. That was pretty easy. Now, the slant here. I will put the other dot, that would be down here. Don't just wing it and imagine it. I should count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But coming down here carefully with my eyeballs, lining it up. I think that's where the dot would need to be nice and thick because I want these dots to be noticeable. Now you're not done with the homework yet if you follow me to this point. All the endpoints of your thin style straight lined initials. Oh, no blocks. I don't want this. Block letters. No. That's going to make this assignment too challenging, and I just don't want that for this assignment. You could do that like as an extra outside of class work. I'm going to erase that part that I didn't want. Now back to labeling. Following the directions up here, I want you to carefully label each endpoint. Well, the endpoints are these dots, and each dot should have an X and a Y coordinates, I think the math teachers call them. This is the X-axis going horizontally. I didn't label it on this worksheet, but it's the X-axis. And this 0 is the center. This would be 10. This up and down line here, vertical, would be 20. If you want to go and put all those labels in, be my guest. But you need to know how to find endpoints. Someday you're going to be driving your family away on vacation, perhaps. Maybe it's going to be a driverless car that you just type in your destination address and it takes you there, but maybe not. Who knows? When they watch this YouTube about 30 years from now, they'll probably laugh at a lot of the things that I say or do. Imagine in the future. Well, this is the line -30, and this should have been a -10 just to be accurate there. So this dot comes out to the point -30 here, but over here, projecting over here, that is the point 180 on the y-axis. This is the y-axis vertically up and down. That's the point 180 because this was 150 and that's 200 up here. That line for some reason got erased. So this point should be -30 labeled neatly, neater than I'm doing in this video, please, comma, and then 180. It's always X, comma, Y in alphabetical order. See a math teacher for extra help, or even a friend, perhaps. And then I always like my students to put a nice little set of parentheses around that. So that set of coordinates, that ordered pair, matches up with this dot. Now you need to label this for full credit, this worksheet. Real quick, that would be -160, comma, the point +160. What a coincidence there. That's +160 on the y-axis. So the 160 would come after the comma with a nice little set of parentheses. How can you get your code to be correct if you have a poor interface sketch? How can the program execute smoothly like Fortnite does if the code's wrong? And if you don't understand the specs, how can you do anything right? The 5 steps of the PP. Who wants to be famous in this video that will eventually be watched by hundreds, maybe even thousands of people, like I have 20,000 people on some of my videos? Loudly for this microphone up here. 5 steps of the PP, programming process for those people that don't go to Y missing, or I mean Wilson. Loudly, guy in the front row, whose name I might not know right now. Yes! Loud so we can hear it. 5 steps of the programming process.
Understand.
Yeah?
Plan.
I'll take it. Step 3, I don't have all day. Code, yeah?
Debug.
Yes.
And then document.
Very good. All of that will be part of this worksheet, which turns into an assignment. So good luck on this part of the worksheet. This was an overview of Initials Worksheet 1 in the year 2018-19 at the Wilson High School, which is near a school where I heard there's some like really good computer science going on, and go-getter students also. Thank you, and contact me at cminnick@wilson.org if you have questions, or try to comment on this YouTube video if I don't have the comments turned off like I usually do, because I don't trust the internet with always just having good things to say.